I'm sure you guys know this brand, but I'm not sure you know their fragrances. Today, I'll be talking about a few creations from the collection of FURLA that came out in 2020. I'm a kind of perfume lover who cares more about the perfume itself rather than the packaging. But the bottles of FURLA have created a certain idea in my head that these perfumes will be elegant, modern, minimalistic, and I tell you that my expectations were truly met in here. FURLA has hired a very talented team of perfumers. They have an innovative approach to amber fragrances using not only Abraxane and Amber Arome, but also Organox. One thing I was wrong about is that I thought that each perfume evolves around a certain flower. In fact, the compositions are a bit more complex and each perfume has a little twist that I call it a step towards fougere fragrances. And this is what really defines FURLA collection for me. The first one I have in here will be Romantica. Let's see what this one's about. Just to remind you, I don't do first impression videos. I always tell you about my experience of wearing fragrances for a few days. So, Romantica is not actually the most romantic in this collection. I was really hoping to get more peonies and blackcurrant and maybe jasmine. The florals are definitely present in here, but overall I would say that this is a green, spicy kind of perfume. And this spiciness is probably coming from the herb called davana and maybe a bit of coriander. Davana is a kind of herb that is bitter and has a balsamic undertone. And usually it's used for fougere kind of fragrances that are more frequently found in the men's section. That's why I would say that there is a bit of a masculine hint in here. I cannot say it's a masculine fragrance, but this masculine hint is coming from bitterness. And it's the same thing when it comes to the base. I really would like to hear more the combination of sandalwood and vanilla, because that's a combination I really like. But I think patchouli is just a continuation of this davana herb. And the white florals and peonies are just lost in here. They are present in the background, but they are not brightly blooming at heart. The next one is Preziosa, and this one also has a little bit of a spicy opening. This one is much sweeter compared to Romantica. If you have a good nose, you can recognize saffron, but you will definitely recognize pink pepper. Vanilla is listed only in the base of this fragrance, but in fact it comes out right away. This sweetness might confuse you, but eventually you will recognize a lipstick kind of perfume. It's the combination of rose and geranium that determine this lipstick character, and together with vanilla they make it a sweet lipstick, and this sweetness lasts throughout, making the other two notes on the base, which are suede and amber arome, barely noticeable. The next one I have in here is called Favolosa. Don't you love the names? Favolosa means fabulous in Italian. This is another peony fragrance, and in this case, the creator uses marigold flowers. This is again a flower typical for fougere fragrances, and that gives a bit of a bitterness, not to the extent of masculinity, but bitterness that I'm not enjoying so much. I personally don't get the comparison with J'adore by Dior, despite that, yes, jasmine is very dominant in here. But maybe because I don't think I've ever felt tagetes being so strong in any other fragrance. Not only they give this pepperish touch, but they also give a bit of an old lady kind of vibe to me. The peonies just fade away in here, and I'm not loving the base so much. I think the combination of musk and Abraxane really dominates over woody and solar notes. And the last one that I'll be talking about today is called Irresistible. This one has an interesting kind of character, and out of the four, this is the one that really stayed in my mind, the one I was thinking about the day after. It is strange, but when I read the description of Irresistibile, I don't match it with what I'm smelling. Yes, it's kind of floral, but to me it's more like aquatic floral. I feel a bit of iris in here, but sort of a dirty iris, dusty, I would say. It is supposed to be very delicate, feminine and floral, but there is some kind of a pepperish, bitterish herb in here, and I don't think it's coming only from the combination of cypress and ambroxan. Maybe this davana herb is present here again, but this spicy, pepperish side is quite strong, I would say. While trying the fragrances, I realized that I have a kind of radar for these notes that are coming from fougere category. And on one hand, they add an interesting twist to these floral compositions, but on the other hand, I cannot say I'm really enjoying it so much. I think a lot of people, they don't feel them as much as I do, and they perceive these fragrances as light florals. And I think they could really be appreciated by those who love airy, easy, musky fragrances, despite that a few creations they have amber in here. Overall, it was not an easy task to enter a perfume market and to compete with the giants, but FURLA is continuing their collection and they've already issued some new fragrances. Have you tried any? Would you like to try any? Let me know in the comments.